That's not a surprise.
Today on the news and why it matters, Mark Zuckerberg hit with really, really intense and intellectual questions from members of Congress. Also, the latest Democratic presidential candidate to drop out of the race. Oh, wah, wah. Got a lot to get into. It starts right now. Welcome to the news and why it matters. I am Sarah Gonzalez, today joined by Stubergear, Jeremy Dice from First Liberty.
Moving up to the second chair, first time.
That's because I'm here. Yeah, they just set him over there. Get rid of it.
Jeff Fisher of Chewing the Fat with Jeff Fisher. I just thought that you should be in direct eyesight with Stu.
Either that or I asked for him to be as far away as possible.
One or the other.
I was just trying to cover for you, but
Well, guys, thanks for just knocking me down up there. Good about all that.
got a lot to get into, but first we want to thank our sponsor, Relief Factor. So Relief Factor is there for all of you who just walk around in constant pain. You're just like, well, this is life and it sucks. And maybe you're grouchy with your spouse or your kids, and you can't pick up your grandchildren, whatever the case may be, because this is you, Jeffy.
That's my
You've
life.
gotten to
That's
that
my life.
age,
It is.
right? Oh, I mean, you had an injury?
Yeah, that's it. I had an injury. Yeah.
So, Relief Factor works because it targets the inflammation in your body, which is the root cause of the pain. So you don't have to mask it with prescription drugs, and you don't have to, more importantly, just walk around thinking that life is just going to be full of pain all the time. You got to try Relief Factor. Get the 3-week quick start pack for $19.95. The majority of people who buy that keep buying more because it's working for them and it's changed their life. You can change your life too, but you got to go to relieffactor.com, or you can call 800-500-8384. That is relieffactor.com. Get you that quick start pack. It's hard for me to say quick start pack.
Quick start pack.
It's hard. It's a tongue twister, but I did it. I just had to slow down. So yesterday, Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, he faced some intense questioning from the House Financial Services Committee.
Was it intense?
Oh, so intense.
Was it intense?
It was over 6 hours of questioning over their proposed cryptocurrency Libra. Let's start with Representative Joyce Beatty, who wanted to ask Mark Zuckerberg about Facebook's interest in civil rights and African Americans. I'm not sure what that has to do with it, but let's watch anyway.
The other was around setting up a civil rights task force.
And who's on the civil rights task force?
Sheryl Sandberg is the person she's...
What's civil rights? Okay, we know Sheryl's not really civil rights, so I'm trying to help you here. She's
So
a
racist.
COO, and I don't think there's anything, and I know Sheryl well, about civil rights in her background. So come better than that for me, if we're going to talk civil rights. And this is what's so frustrating to me. It's almost like you think this is a joke.
Yes.
When you have ruined the lives of many people, discriminated against them. Do you know what percentage of African Americans are on Facebook in comparison to majority folks? Do you know what the percentages are?
Majority.
People using the Facebook...
Yes. Do you know what the percentages are for African Americans?
I don't, because we don't collect the races of people.
Well, it came out in a report in the Pew Research Center that was sent to you. So maybe you just don't read a lot of things that deal with civil rights or African Americans.
Oh.
Just awful.
I love just the look on her face that she's like, oh, I've really got you now. I'm going to turn my head like this. Yeah, I've got you now. What do you have to say, Mark?
Yeah.
Like she's making some amazing
Trying to
point.
get street with Mark Zuckerberg.
This is the football player that picks the ball up, runs in for a touchdown, and realizes he ran into the wrong end zone. That is who she is. I mean, that is legitimately one of the dumbest collection of logic that you could ever imagine. Like, there's just, I mean, she obviously knows this is an insane thing to say. The idea that he didn't read one poll means he doesn't care about civil rights and African Americans. He doesn't read a lot about them because there's one poll he was sent that he didn't read.
Well, his inbox is probably very empty.
Yeah,
he
not a
probably
lot
doesn't get much mail.
He's actually running a business that employs people. I mean, I can't believe I want to friggin' defending Mark Zuckerberg. Like, Congress is so bad, they make you like Mark Zuckerberg. It's an impossible task.
I mean, the entire thing was pretty much, I mean, you summed it up as pretty much this collection of dumb thoughts.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
that
somehow
felt like
got through his entire testimony without using the word dummy, which I don't know how.
He deserves an
Wouldn't you
award
just be
for,
like,
really.
Look, dummy, we don't even collect that information. Like, how does she not know?
I just love the fact he's sitting there with this look on his face like, I think I'm supposed to be insulted. I don't know what's going on, though.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to preface everything by Congressman, Congresswoman.
Yes.
Like, Mother, may I?
Yeah. He does look legitimately, and I think he is legitimately perplexed, because there's no, like, he's there to try to actually answer these questions. And he's talking about an internal task force. They put their, like, the biggest name in the company on an internal task force. That shows that they are putting some attention, probably completely undeserved. And look, Facebook has ruined a lot of lives, but it's the people that are on Facebook whose lives have been ruined, not the people who aren't on it. African Americans are benefiting if they're going on lower rates. It's terrible.
They're going around forcing people to get on Facebook.
That's never occurred.
Yes, I mean, it's horrible. You have not seen Facebook in your neighborhood? My friend knocking on doors forcing people to join? Okay, whatever.
Jeremy, how racist is it on a scale of 1 to 10 to say that Sheryl, whatever her last name is, Sandberg, cannot be on a civil rights task force because she's white, I guess?
It's on the level of crazy. I don't know. I mean, goodness sakes. You're asking if Facebook is collecting information based upon people's races to make racial decisions on that? I mean,
Is that even legal?
I'm guessing that's not exactly legal to be doing that. Doesn't that go against some sort of Civil Rights Act somewhere? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that they, look, on Facebook, if you want to advertise to left-handed truck drivers that like Snickers bars, you can probably do it.
Sure.
But I don't know exactly how that system works, that algorithm works to find all that information. I have no idea, but I think that's the point of some of this inquiry. But to just come out and say, yeah, well, if you're white, you don't really care about civil rights, you know, come on, be nice. Just be nice. At the very
because there were
least.
no white people who were helping blacks during the civil rights era, right? No one helped them. It
You
was
gotta come
just.
at me with better than that.
Does that really help the discussion on race whatsoever? I don't know.
Well, what's interesting too is he says no, it's not, and he says no, we're not collecting that data, and it's like, we're not collecting that data because we don't care about race like you do.
Well, I felt like she was going to come back and say, well, you should be, right?
It's like we don't view everything through a racial lens. Why the hell would we be collecting that?
I mean, I'll be a little skeptical of Mark. I'm pretty sure they could piece together
think
the
so,
race of the.
I think so, too.
And I don't know. I'm not on Facebook
I mean,
a
if
lot.
you
but like,
list
is
it,
there
right, on your-
Can't you click a button that
Yeah,
says
I'm
your
sure
race?
you-
You probably
I'm
could.
sure
I
you
think
can.
so.
Well, if
And
you
I
can
think
choose
that-
from 49,000 different genders,
Genders,
why
yeah.
can't you
Yeah.
choose
I'm sure you
whatever race
can.
you are?
And
as
I think
well?
that algorithm is probably going to be pretty good if you can pick, you know, the left-handed truck driver who likes Snickers. Probably can pick out who the African
Okay,
Americans
but to your point, like, yes, could he probably compile that data if he wanted to? Sure, but would he?
He's not
right?
like he's not. They're not recruiting people to go. Like, people are signing up willingly.
Right.
Like, if it's just a service that people like, don't like. I had a friend who worked at a fast food restaurant, and he assured me with 100% certitude. He worked there for like 5 years. He said only white people like mayonnaise. Now, I had no idea. Is that true? It may be true. I have no idea. But he told me
you like
only
mayonnaise?
what I do like mayonnaise. I think it's freaking
go.
delicious.
But have you ever ordered it at his fast food restaurant?
But hold on.
I don't know. That's a good point.
I like mayonnaise too.
Well, you're pretty much white. You count for white because you're a Republican. But like, I'm not saying it actually is true that only white people like mayonnaise. But like, maybe black people don't like Facebook as much, right? Like, it might just be something like that. Maybe they don't. I know I don't like Facebook and I'm white. But you know, there are things that some people like and some people don't like. That it's not a problem with Facebook if African Americans are not signing up at the same rate. Like, that is a choice of African Americans to not waste their entire lives on Facebook. It's a good choice.
Well, he wasn't just questioned about African Americans. He was also questioned about all different kinds of intersectionality groups and how he employs them and works with them.
It's supposed to be about cryptocurrency, right?
Yes.
Okay. just wanted to
Yes.
make sure.
A proposed cryptocurrency. Thank you for that great reminder. So here's Al Green. He's just going to blow your mind. Watch.
Is it true that global corporations make up the association?
Congressman, the association is made of, today, 21 companies and nonprofit organizations as well.
He wins every one of these points.
Of the 21, how many are headed by women?
Congressman, I do not know the answer to that off the top of my head, but I can get it
Wow.
for you.
Well, I believe you can get it, Mr. Zuckerberg, but one would assume that you would know who heads these corporations
Why are you asking him? Why don't you
that
know?
are going to be running this global company.
He's showing Mark Zuckerberg he's so stupid for
How
not
many
knowing.
of them are minorities, Mr.
Can you
Zuckerberg?
ask this question a little slower?
Congressman, I do not know off the top of my head.
Medication was kicking in.
Are there any members of the LGBTQ plus community associated with this association, Mr. Zuckerberg?
Congressman, I don't know the answer.
What? What
Okay, now,
point
so
would that prove?
this one definitely, it would be illegal for him to get that information from, many of that. If, in fact, we have all these different Title VII requirements, right?
Right.
I'm not discriminating based on race and age and ethnicity and all these things and sex, and if you include all the sexual orientations under sex like they're trying to do right now, for him to actually maintain that information could actually be a violation of employment law. Because now we're talking about Facebook's employees. And so now they're saying, hey, why don't you know all this information that you're not allowed to ask for?
Yeah.
But
it's like,
if he is part of the corporation,
like stay out.
shouldn't he
Wait, hold on. We say half an hour until Jeffy finishes.
know
Stay out.
who these people are?
Stay out of our bedrooms.
Right.
Except you should really know what all of your employees are doing in their bedrooms.
And I think I think actually he's asking about the Association of Fact Checkers, which was another part. That was the thing
Yeah.
that AOC was asking about earlier.
Yes.
These are totally separate companies and nonprofits, as he said. Not even Facebook.
Correct, Stu.
So he what is he going to do? Hey, we're going to see. You guys look like you check facts pretty well, but we wanted to see. Who do you like to have sex with? Before we book you for this gig, we just want to make sure you're having sex with enough different genders.
Shouldn't you know, Mr. Zuckerberg?
Look, it is this is what it boils down to. This is about cryptocurrency. They're asking about the LGBTQ plus community, and if you got a problem with this association of supposedly nonpartisan journalist organizations, go bring that person up and ask them who they have in their organization. This is all somehow predicated on the idea that Facebook is a right-wing organization, which is bonkers.
Are we really concerned that the fact checkers are not having enough progressive individuals on them?
You know they do.
And if this idea of this independent oversight board that Facebook has put together, which is guaranteed to look worse than the United Nations and the bar scene from Star Wars combined in the future, if that's not enough to scare you anyway, I mean, in the future, that's what's going to happen. Look, Google tried something like this before, and they ended up running off Kay Cole James from the Heritage Foundation because she was so conservative. They actually used the system to get her off the board because that African-American conservative.
How many
well,
others?
in AOC even
catch up eventually.
Yeah, to your point about the fact checkers, AOC made the brilliant point that the Daily Caller is a fact checker, and how could they be an independent fact checker when they obviously have well-known ties to white supremacy? What?
Well, her whole problem is not that they have fact checkers, but that Facebook isn't doing the fact checking. Right. Mark, if you're not shutting off my opponents, what's your problem? You need to stop people from lying about me on Facebook.
Or just telling the
that's her point.
truth.
Yeah, and the AOC thing is fascinating. First of all, she reads the question about the Daily Caller. Then when Zuckerberg, again, with so much more knowledge about the situation than the people that are questioning him, it informs her that he doesn't pick them. This is a separate organization.
She knows more about Facebook than he does.
Right.
She knows more about
the social media
everything
wars,
than anyone else.
And you could see her brain trying so hard to come up with a follow-up question. It's really ugly to watch. But this is a situation where she is trying to corner him and has almost no information about the things she's asking about. And
It says on my sheet here that this is a yes or no question.
it's I'm surprised to see it. I mean, she look. AOC is not. I know, yeah, because she read, and I was surprised to see that she could read. Oh. Because she read the first question. And
shame on you. Shame on you. That's too much.
Is it?
No.
Is it now?
No.
Is it? I don't think it is.
Never too much for this
Agreed,
show.
Okay.
sir.
All right, back in a minute.
You do a good Al Green impression.
That is pretty good.
To be fair,
A little fast.
probably not that probably not that hard. Before we get back into the conversation, we want to thank our sponsor, iTarget Pro. So for those of you who are shooters out there, who all of you should be exercising your Second Amendment rights, iTarget Pro is there for people who don't always have time to get to the range. Maybe you're tired of just paying for range fees and ammunition, because ammunition, that really adds up. Like one trip to the range,
It's expensive.
it's super expensive. One trip to the range, like you could already have paid for an iTarget Pro in one freaking trip. That's how expensive all of these fees are. Now, obviously, you want to go to the range every once in a while, but iTarget Pro you can use in the comfort of your own home. And as an added bonus, you're not shooting holes through your walls and your couches and your televisions.
I love the
it's a
comfort of
win-win.
your own home. That one always just gets me. And someone just sitting on their couch, bang.
We do it.
happens,
We do it.
yeah.
We've done it. My husband and I do it. I introduced my my 7-year-old to my 380. He had never seen it before, and I let him use iTarget. And actually, he's a pretty good shot. So I need to watch out for that one. Honestly, it's really great. You get to dry fire. And that's really where you learn your gun. You learn the pull of the gun. You learn trigger control. You can go to itargetpro.com. Get 10% off right now with free shipping. With promo code NEWS. That is itargetpro.com. Be one of the cool kids and get yourself a laser bullet, because nothing sounds cooler. Nothing sounds cooler than a laser bullet in the comfort of your own home. itargetpro.com, promo code NEWS. We have breaking news on this James Younger case that we discussed yesterday.
He's supposed to be on the radio with us tomorrow, by the way, the dad.
The dad, Jeff Younger. So James Younger was, of course, he is, the 7-year-old who his parents were in a custody dispute because the mom wants to transition the 7-year-old into a female using, puberty blockers, hormone medication, a medical transition. And the
That's
dad...
been going on for years now.
Yes, and the dad said, no, I don't want to do that. A jury earlier this week ruled that the mother would have sole managing conservatorship over the child, but the judge actually overruled that decision. The judge,
Really?
yes, just now, this is breaking news, the judge ruled that they will still maintain joint managing conservatorship over the child, and that he will also have, the same rights that she does to make these decisions.
How does that end up working when we're talking about
how does
the
it ever
transition?
how does it ever end up working with two divorced parents who have joint conservatorship? But it is at least a step in the right direction that the judge went against the jury and said that the mother doesn't just have free reign
she
to
can't just do it herself.
Right, to just turn this kid into a girl.
It's still obviously a big time question as to what happens here. But I mean, the story, as you kind of zoom out a little bit, is just completely insane. With the idea that the mom wanted to push this kid into being a girl, and her initial request from her son was that he wanted his name to be Starfire, which is like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
And she said, no, it's got to be Luna, and they settled on Luna. And it's like, well, if you can't trust the kid to make up his own name.
Luna.
How can you possibly trust him to make up a gender switch that's permanent? Because he could always switch his name later on. Once you make permanent changes to your body, you can't undo.
So I could pick a different My Little Pony if I wanted to.
You could.
Okay.
You could.
Okay.
Well, I want to bring you gentlemen into the conversation, but there was some heartbreaking footage that was released of James at 3 years old telling his father that his mom said he was a girl. Watch.
You're a boy, right?
No, I'm a girl.
Who told you you were a girl?
Mommy,
When did she tell you you were a girl?
'cause I love girls.
Oh, I see. So mommy told you you were a girl?
Uh-huh.
Does mommy do anything else like with a girl with you?
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
Like kisses.
What does she do?
She do put them on me.
She puts dresses on you? Oh, wow. And what else does she do?
She buys my headbands.
Uh-huh.
And she get me hair clips.
Oh, hair clips? Okay. What else?
Some microphones.
What else?
Like a skeleton.
Does she do anything with your fingers?
Yeah.
What?
She paints my nails.
Why does she do that?
Because I love like nail polish.
Oh. So mommy puts you in a dress and puts nail polish on you? And what does mommy tell you?
She tells me I'm a girl.
Oh, okay. Do you think you're a girl?
Uh-huh.
You do? Is that why you wear this, so that you can have long hair? Okay.
Jeremy, the mother is a pediatrician. Are we in trouble when it comes to trusting our medical community?
Oh man, I hate this story so much. I hate having to even talk about it because it's painful. I mean, that little kid stuck between two people that just can't get along. I mean, there's more to this than just the transgender transition here. There is a family that is broken apart. This is not how it's supposed to be. This is not the design. These two young boys that were conceived through IVF, family that broke apart as soon as they were born, basically, and are now going to be stuck in courts until they're adults and can fend for themselves. And now we're talking about whether or not this young man's going to be allowed to maintain his own biological sex without any consent of his own, could be chemically castrated because his mother has this idea that he should, quote, transition because he saw Starfire on a cartoon show.
Yeah,
It's painful, and every aspect of the story is painful. So yeah, I think we're in a world of hurt if we can't trust our pediatricians, who I think she actually had a picture of her and her son, the boy, on her pediatrician page as a way to advertise her services for a while. I went to her website actually today just to look at it all, and it says Modern Parenting, Classic Medicine, or something like that.
Yeah.
Modern parenting. Well, if that's what modern parenting is.
I don't go to my pediatrician to tell me how to be a parent.
If that's what modern parenting is,
Yeah.
sign me out. I'm not up for that one.
Jeffy, I saw a Yelp review too from 2 months ago that said she wouldn't stop pushing my boy to become a girl.
Right, and that's
I don't know.
the problem. I mean,
Right, it's a Yelp review, so I don't know.
The fine line is, right? I mean, if mom wants to dress the kid up as a girl and say that you're a girl and, put fingernail polish on and makeup on, that's one thing, right? I mean, that's one thing, mom being crazy. Now, but when you're talking about the medication and actually going through the physical process of it, I mean, that is way beyond what I would allow. I'm glad I'm not the father of that.
And don't forget, these are twin boys that are at stake here. One is and one is not, according to the mother. Matt Walsh wrote the other day that this is like some new form of Munchausen syndrome, right? Where you make up diseases that your kids have and ultimately leads to their demise.
That's not a bad
That's
call.
not a bad analogy.
That's not a bad call.
That she's actually, is she hoping that is she wishing that she'd had a girl instead of a boy and is just living that out? I don't know, but why are we not asking? Why is the society not asking more questions than mom? We're just assuming that mother knows best here somehow, and I don't think that's accurate. It's certainly not fair to this kid. If he's supposed to be the one to make his own decisions on who he is inside or outside of his body, then why is mom getting to make that decision?
Yeah, I'd be fascinated to hear what the dad has to say on where they're going after the judge has ruled that no. The jury said that the father doesn't get anything to do with the kid, and he does, right? So we still have, the dad being involved, but where are we at as far as, the medical castration, the making it into an actual physical female and taking away the male? It's just horrible.
So that's tomorrow on Glenn Radio?
On radio, yeah. Okay. And we'll discuss where the court, the case is going to go. And but I mean, look, bottom line is we have age limits for lots of stuff here in this country, and there should be one for this.
Yeah.
He couldn't take aspirin right now by himself.
Back in a minute.
But yeah, of course, puberty block is the problem.
All right, it's almost your final chance to get a ticket for the M1 ball happening this weekend. It is going to be Saturday at the Omni Hotel in downtown Dallas. I'm going to be there emceeing the event. Stu's going to be there. Jeffy's going to be there. Jeremy's not going to be there.
Thanks a lot,
which
Sheryl.
actually might sell some more tickets.
Oh, wow.
Oh, ow.
Wow. It's not like you.
Man, I got to get back to the third chair. I was treated better over there.
She wanted you straight across
You
from
can
her,
also
my friend.
participate in the auction. It's happening now on Mercury One's website. You got to go to mercuryone.org/M1ball. Get you a ticket, a raffle ticket, $100 to win a Mercedes-Benz. You can't beat that. mercuryone.org. Overtime starts next.